When you first see Arabic script, it's this mix of, wow, that's beautiful, and whoa, that looks complicated. It's a language with this incredible beauty and a super deep history, but for a beginner, that first step can feel like a huge leap. So, where do you even begin? Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you a map. For most of us, this is what we think of as Arabic. You see this elegant, flowing script that honestly looks more like art than writing. And you know what? In a lot of ways, it's both. But behind all that beauty is a system that's actually surprisingly logical, and we're going to unpack it together. And that's really the big question, isn't it? The desire to learn is there, for sure, but the path forward can seem totally hidden in a fog. That's exactly why we're here. We're going to use our source guide to draw you a really clear step-by-step map to get you started. So before we even touch the alphabet or any of the grammar, let's start with the why. What is it about this language that has captivated people for centuries? What's the real allure of Arabic? First off, just think about the sheer scale of it. Arabic is the mother tongue for up to 400 million people, spread across 25 different countries. I mean, think about that. When you learn this language, you're not just learning words, you're opening a direct line to a huge part of our world. And then there's the incredible history. We're talking about a language that's roughly 1,500 years old. It carries centuries of culture, poetry, and science baked right into its very structure. And its influence isn't just a thing of the past, it's profoundly current. As one of only 6 official languages of the United Nations, it sits right at the heart of modern global diplomacy and international affairs. It's a big deal. This is just an incredible thought. For over a millennium, Arabic was the language of progress. If you were on the cutting edge of medicine, astronomy, philosophy, math, you were doing your work in Arabic. The world's greatest breakthroughs were literally written and debated in this language. But for many, the ultimate reason is both religious and literary. Now, the guide we're using makes a really bold claim here. It argues that the Quran isn't just a holy book, but the absolute peak of literary achievement. For millions of learners, the goal is to experience that unparalleled beauty and power for themselves. Okay, so the motivation is clear, but motivation needs a path, right? This is where the guide gets super practical. It explains that how you learn Arabic depends completely on why you're learning it. Turns out there isn't just one road to fluency, there are actually 3 very distinct paths. This chart breaks it down perfectly. So, the colloquial path. That's about connection. You want to chat with people, order food, and just feel the rhythm of daily life. Modern Standard, on the other hand, is the path for your brain and your career. It's the language of the news, of politics, of formal writing. And finally, the classical path is really the path of the soul, a deep, scholarly dive into the language of the Quran and ancient poetry. The big takeaway here is so simple but so important. Your personal goal has to define your journey. If you choose the wrong path, you're just going to end up frustrated. Now, while the guide offers up these different paths, it also gives a really stern warning about one particular mistake that tons of eager students make, no matter which path they choose. And there it is. The guide is absolutely emphatic about this. It says, buying a few books and trying to go it alone is the single biggest mistake you can make. It insists that for a language this deep and rich, you need a teacher, you need structure, and you need to interact with people. Self-study just won't cut it. All right, we've covered the why and the how, so now let's tackle the part that looks the most intimidating, the script itself. It's time to pull back the curtain and demystify the Arabic alphabet. So it might look really complex, but it's built on a few simple, totally consistent rules. First, you read from right to left. Easy enough. Second, the letters in a word are almost always joined together, kind of like cursive handwriting. Third, and this is a big one, all 29 letters are consonants. So what about vowels? Well, they aren't letters at all. They're just simple little marks you add above or below the consonants. See? It's a clear, logical system. And this is where you can really see the hidden efficiency of the script. Just look at these 3 letters, ba, ta, and tha. The basic shape, that little dish, is identical. The only thing that changes is where you put the dots. It's all about patterns. Once you learn one shape, you've often unlocked the key to several other letters. It's pretty smart. So how does that whole cursive flow actually work? Well, it's because each letter has 4 slightly different forms depending on where it sits in a word. Here, we're looking at the letter ba. It has a shape for when it's by itself, when it starts a word, when it's in the middle, and when it's at the end.
This is the magic key that lets all the letters connect so beautifully and seamlessly.
And this is where that logic just becomes pure artistry. The guide points out that some words carry so much weight that they get their own special form. The word for God, Allah, is the ultimate example of this. The letters all blend together into this single iconic symbol that is instantly recognizable around the world. It's a perfect fusion of language, faith, and art. So, there you have it. We've seen the why. It's a global language of history and influence. We've seen the how, 3 different paths for 3 different goals. And we've seen the what, a script that's both logical and incredibly beautiful. The path forward should be a lot clearer now, so the only question left is for you. Which aspect of this incredible language are you most curious to explore?